Check it out, check it out, check it out. Check it out, 1212. And the place to be. I go to St. John's University. Ever since kindergarten, I acquired knowledge. And after 12th grade, I went straight to college on light skin. I live in Queens. What is going on? It's your boy once again, Heaven Hollywood. Welcome to another Heaven Hollywood experience. On the late tip, but it's a Friday night, so hopefully y'all can hang. Got a lot of things to discuss. All right. 1212. Let me see something here. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. So let me know that you hear everything all right. Put a 1 down in the chat. So let me see. Hit that like button, y'all. We're gonna wait here. Put a 1 in the chat. What's up? What's up? What's up, Mimi? Put a 1 in the chat. Some topics we're going to discuss. We hit Nicki Minaj and Cardi B both in Miami, Florida. Might brought that up like that was going to do something. Like something was going to happen. What's up? What's up, brown girl? Tory Lanez once again denied. You know what? Now I'm starting to get, before I'm like, okay, do what you got to do, but dog, just do your time. It's not going to happen for you. Every time you turn around, they gaslighting somebody with, but it's not over. He can appeal it to, the courts of Jesus. Then the court of Jesus turned him down. Oh, he can agree it to the court of Jesus' grandmother. Wait, it ain't over yet. Like, stop gaslighting and then just do your time, bruh. It's not going to happen for you. Right? It's starting to get annoying now. Right? Starting to get annoying now. So yeah, they were saying that about the Miami thing. They said Nicki's creating new music. Now I don't know why Cardi's down there. Cardi might just be down there chilling, or maybe she's got she's a paid event or whatever the case may be. But this is right on the crust of her stating about the defamation of character. One thing about that is I'm gonna wait and see if Cardi B confirms that. Because, yeah, it sounds nice, and I could be like, oh, yeah, she finally took my advice. But if she doesn't come out and repost this or come out and say, yeah, this is true, for all we know that it isn't true. The Diddy situation with the documentary has kind of got everybody split. I've seen half the people saying, F that, we love 50, this, that, and the other. And then the other half of the nation's like, 50 was a sucker for doing this and this, that, and the third. So I've seen both. I've seen it both ways. I saw people, on both sides of the ball, so to speak. Everybody knows where I stand. I think 50 is a sucker. I think him continuing to pile on Diddy, gives me a lot of jealous vibes. It gives me a lot of jealousy vibes, no matter how much people try to deny it. Right? They always say, oh, what would he be jealous about? What? Money, status. If a dude, you have to remember something. If a dude has no self-esteem, if a dude is intimidated and sensitive and insecure, when he gets a bunch of money, he's still going to have those issues. He's just going to be now an insecure dude with a lot of money. So he can go to, the best rehab there is instead of going to a hole in the wall. But when I see 50 Cent, this has been going on long enough. And now he's coming up with all the, Diddy sent me flowers from jail. Cap. This dude was trying to sue you for putting out the documentary. He's trying to send you a cease and desist. How would he turn around and then, after trying to send you a cease and desist, know exactly the club you were playing at? I'm not even locked up, and I didn't know you were playing anywhere in Miami. So he did all that, sent a cease and desist, and then sent you a threatening letter with flowers, just so you can prey on the whole gay stuff. Oh, what type of gay issue is this? Blah, blah, blah. It's cap. Diddy ain't sent that man nothing. This man is totally obsessed with Diddy now. You mean to tell me that he had somebody send you flowers? That was just one day. So within 24 hours, he had somebody, he found out where you were going to be performing at, and he sent it to that club, and he did all of that within a 24-hour span. Like, stop it. No, he didn't. I'm calling Cap on it the same way how I called Cap on the shopping story. Right? But you see, the problem is with 50 Cent is a lot of people have allowed 50 to get away with stuff that the average celebrity or person would never be able to get away with. Whenever 50 does stuff that people would deem, if somebody else does it, they would deem cancelable, and that doesn't apply when it comes to 50 Cent. He can date younger girls. He can date girls in their 20s while he's 50. Nobody will ever say anything to him. They'll just say, oh, I would never want 50 as my enemy. Parading along to the whole thing that about, 50 just been 50 holds a grudge and this, that, and the other. Has everything to do. I noticed that one thing about this documentary, I noticed he mentioned Cassie's name a couple of times, but I ain't hear no mention of Jane Doe. Why wasn't Jane Doe mentioned in your documentary, 50? Right? Y'all notice that? He mentioned Cassie's name. I heard, Kim Porter and all these people. But the first case, the trial was about Cassie and Jane Doe. I heard him mention Cassie plenty of times. Right? I heard him mention Cassie plenty of times. But he didn't mention Jane Doe at all. He should. Why can't he say Jane Doe? What's up, Amanda? Yes, I did. I'm gonna go over Misa responding to Gene Squeal. And why can't he say Jane Doe? He should be able to say Jane Doe. Everybody else does. During all the other documentaries before, before the trial was over, people were reporting and saying Jane Doe. So he should have said the thing is, he knows that we all know now who Jane Doe is. We all know all the pictures. Everybody's seen the pictures of him with his crusty feet out, Whenever a woman makes you take pictures and you got your feet out, oh yeah, she got you. She got you. Got him out there, toes all out. Cheesing. So, Ray just said, I can't believe people taking the doc as pure. Yeah, that's how they are. Especially when it comes to 50 Cent. These people will believe stuff that, and that's the reason Gene Squeal's getting mad, is because he's like, oh yeah, he said stuff that I said 10 years ago or 15 years ago, which is partially true, but Gene Squeal is not 50 Cent. So they want 50 Cent to be the great, oh, he's this, he's that, oh, he's so great. But all of the sucker stuff that he does, they just overlook it. But they won't overlook nothing Puffy did. If Jay-Z was the predicament, you wouldn't see no mercy on Jay-Z at all. But for whatever reason, this dude can allegedly burn down his baby mother's house. He could allegedly stomp and kick on his second baby mama. He allegedly put hands on his first baby mama. And nobody will ever blame 50. They'll say either the girls are lying. They'll say the girls are lying. Or well, Diddy deserves it. Right? What's up, Stella? If 50 trying to take Puffy's spot as top dog, well, Puffy wasn't really the top dog. Jay-Z's the top dog. So even before Puffy got locked up, he was never the top dog. Jay-Z was the top dog. Was Puffy and Jay have the money black people hate against their own? You're right about that, Ray J. Gotta be a conspiracy why they succeeded. Right. That's the thing. You know, the thing, and Ray J makes a very good point. Why don't I ever hear people say Donald Trump sold his soul? Why don't I ever hear people say, oh, Leonardo DiCaprio sold his soul. Tom Cruise sold his soul. Like, you never hear that. The only thing you hear is black people sold their soul. Or if the white person deals with a lot of black people, they're quick to throw them under the bus. A la Justin Bieber, the Kardashians. Like, so they'll use them and say, oh, we talk about white people too. But talking about the Kardashians is like talking about black people because they are involved heavily in the black community with black situations. Justin Bieber, most of his collaborations are somebody of color. But you'll never, ever hear anybody say Justin Timberlake sold his soul. It's very offensive and insulting because it makes it seem as though like there are no brothers or sisters out there that just got enough talent to be successful. It had to be a gimmick. It had to be a kicker. It had to be some sort of a devised plan. It had to be something in order for them to have been successful in the game. Always. Well, when it comes to business, Puffy BJ and everything, liquor, TV shows, and fashion, at least to me. So you have a point therein because here's the thing. Ray J. At first, Jay wasn't involved in all those things. Jay didn't put out a TV show. I don't think he's got a TV show now. And fashion, Rockaway was pretty much done by the time, Sean Jones go. But Rockaway was doing well in sales. But where Jay ended up getting Diddy is just more out front. You know what I mean? If these two were gangsters, Jay would be Frank Lucas, and Diddy would be what's his name? What's the dude from Harlem? Diddy would be him, and Jay would be Frank Lucas. Jay's more low key. Now, by the time Jay came and got into the liquor game heavy, Diddy was already, he was kind of going on the downslide, because Jay really got into Duce, Ace of Spades and Duce. Well, that was late 2000s, 2016, 17, somewhere in there. So it may look as though Diddy was doing better because Diddy's more out front. But Jay was the one who was the billionaire first. So he doesn't have as much money as Jay. And Jay-Z was pretty much doing other deals, as you can see, like stuff like the Super Bowl and like that. Jay doesn't really concentrate on, he's not trying to be the face of a liquor, like how 50 Cent and Diddy was trying to be the face of Ciroc. 50 Cent was trying to be the face of FN, and then the other stuff that he had. But Jay-Z was never trying to be he just wants to invest in it and make money from it, but he don't care to be the face. So that's where it might seem like Diddy was doing better. And at one point, yes, you consider Diddy the king of New York at one point. But Jay's always investing, always be able to make money, always. And that's why he got to the billionaire status before Diddy, right? And with less help. So when it comes to like them top dogs as far as music goes and shit like that, Jay-Z to me is in the top spot. Diddy, up until this situation, was in the second slot. The third slot, I mean, who you want to say? Dr. Dre? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. So, but back to your point, Ray J, there has been a lot of people who went into the conspiracy theory about the liquor brand. And of course, we can't act like these big brands don't have the ability to bully these young brands, these new brands, or whatever. And a lot of people talk about the fact that Diddy tried to become more than just a brand partner. He wanted his own liquor, right? Well, who do you think he got that from? He got that from Jay-Z, right? Because Jay-Z pretty much owned his portion of Duce. And Diddy's, a lot of people is talking about, Diddy's talking about the campaign and having your own political party. I don't really think they took that too serious. I really think they took that very serious. But it's the other stuff, the trying to sue Diageo. A lot of people don't understand how powerful Diageo is. And when he pretty much was trying to sue them, I could definitely see them, being behind a lawsuit. I could see them paying Cassie, $10 million and saying, hey, if you do this, you can get $30 million. Or we'll settle it out and take our piece and whatever. Right? But now they're trying to say that a juror knew Puffy. They're trying to say that a juror knew Puffy because there's pictures of them online, right? There's pictures of them online. So now he's already locked up now. I don't really know if they can get anything out of anything can become of that. If they can say, "Oh, it's a mistrial," or whatever the case may be. I know everybody is reporting that the lady that was on the documentary, everybody's reporting that there's pictures of her and Diddy out there. Over there by White YouTube. I don't know what White YouTube you're talking about. So let's see. If Puff wins his appeal in April, a lot of these people are going to get sued. Oh yeah, definitely. Yes, what's good? Brooklyn in the chat. So let's dig into some of the things that's going on. This whole thing about all these people are out here. The conspiracy theorists are out saying, "Oh, she was set up. It was a setup from the beginning. Diddy knew who this juror was. Oh, that's how he got." But one juror. It has to be more than one, because that one juror says no. That then they got to get everybody in agreement with it. But everybody now trying to continue on the Diddy train. People like Murad Morali and Khadijah Lynn, they just won't let him die because that's how they're eating. Right? That's how they're eating. They're eating off of Diddy. So let me see here. I want to find this thing where they're talking about, and then this whole thing about, the 50 Cent threatening his life. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Enough is enough. It's so dumb. We also going to talk about this Charlie Kirk situation. Now, I don't really get into the Charlie Kirk and all this other stuff. However, I did do a video about Charlie Kirk. But let's see here. Here it is right here. So I'm going to go into Khadijah Lynn with her bifocal having ass. This woman is obsessed with Diddy. Is another one who's obsessed with Diddy. Right? She's saying it was all calculated. This woman, I don't know whether she wanted to be at the freak offs. Like, I don't really know what her problem is. I think she always wanted to be at one of the freak offs, and he never invited her because her glasses are too thick, like Velma from Scooby-Doo. But she always seemed very upset at Diddy. And it's just another one of these white content creators. And again, everybody knows I'm not racist, but it just irks me, right? It just irks me when we allow these white content creators who would not be covering black culture. They never covered black culture before. And we allow them, and they ain't got a lick of black in them other than maybe some cock. It's not like they mixed or they got some black in them. Where most of these whites coming on, most of these whites don't even date black men. They come on here and befriend the black woman, and because the black woman loves the black man being torn down so much, they befriend these devils, and they allow them to talk about the black men in our culture. What's up, Ms. Fields? And it's sickening. I'm sick of it. Here you got a girl who ain't never covered Diddy before. Never cared nothing about no black folks before. But she started covering, got popular because she's crapping on Diddy, and then all these black girls start following her. Oh yeah, get him. Oh yeah, don't want to mess with Khadijah. Like girls that y'all wouldn't even be rocking with if y'all see it on the street. But because she's tearing somebody black down, y'all jacking it.
Diddy Juror 160 that we saw in 50 Cent's Netflix documentary actually gave me off vibes from the very start of Diddy's trial. After her opening her mouth on this Netflix documentary, it confirmed my suspicions that much more.
So hold on. So you were always suspicious, but yet and still, you didn't say anything. You see how now they're going to act like, oh yeah, I was always suspicious about her. Girl, you wasn't even at court. What are you talking about? You was not in the courthouse not one day. So how could she have given you bad vibes when you weren't even at court? Oh, she gave me bad vibes from the beginning, and it confirmed my suspicions. How did it confirm your suspicions? You were never even at court, you bifocal, googly-eyed hoe.
Always say that picking the jury is what could possibly make or break a case. And I think Diddy and his legal team knew that they wanted Juror 160 on this jury. With Diddy's $1 million legal team, he actually hired a jury consultant who is very good at what she does. And what she does is profile the jurors. She looks at everything, their body movements, the way they talk, and she puts it together, picking the people that she believes might be most helpful to Diddy during his trial. One interaction that stood out to me the most during this jury selection process is the fact that Diddy smiled at Juror 160. During the jury selection process, it was reported by multiple different media outlets that Juror 160 said, I wish I knew the names of the celebrities that were on the list that were going to be brought up during Diddy's trial. And it was reported that when she said,
you're going on secondhand smoke. You're going on secondhand smoke. So she proved right there was not there. It's been reported by multiple sources, but you weren't there. See, that's the problem. She did not take her old big ass glasses having ass down to that court not one day. She hiding in LA or wherever she's at, hiding because she got caught stalking Diddy. This is the same chick who got caught with her weird ass riding outside Diddy's house, taking pictures of his mansion while he was locked up. And then somebody came out there and caught her ass and scared her, and she peeled off. This freaking weirdo. But your baby black folks be steady jacking her and making her popular and making her money because they want to hear her tear Diddy down.
said that, Diddy smiled. And Diddy most likely smiled about this because she said she wished she knew these celebrities that were being named. That shows that she's pretty much kind of fangirling over celebrities. She wished she knew them, which a lot of people, even myself, feel like this is the vibe that she gave off during her interview on the Netflix documentary. It really threw me for a loop when she brought up the fact that she didn't believe that Diddy was actually nodding at the jury. She just thinks it was a nod that he would normally do because she watched Diddy on Making the Band. Even as the media reported, and someone like me who has covered this case extensively, you would have known that the judge used a particular word when he threatened Diddy to kick him out of the courtroom when he was caught nodding at the jury. Judge said Diddy was vigorously nodding at the jury. That means he wasn't just nodding a little bit. He was nodding a lot of it. And this is where a lot of people felt
the judge never saw that. The judge got that from the prosecution. He never even saw. The prosecutor told him that. And you know who told the prosecution that he was doing that? Tisa Tells. Tisa Tells went and snitched that because she was working for the prosecution. She's the one who would say, oh yeah, I saw him nodding at the jury. That old stupid judge bias, what I call him, submabiasing, Judge Submabiasing, he did not even see Diddy nodding at the jury. He was just taking the prosecution's word for it. And that came from Tisa Tells. And that make sense, Sissy. Put a one in the chat if y'all can hear me, because I haven't seen nobody talking. I'm starting to get pissed off. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. So that is the whole situation with that. Tisa Tells is the one. Tisa Tells is the one who told the prosecution that Diddy was nodding vigorously at the jury. That's the reason why the juror who was sitting up there said he wasn't nodding. No other jurors have come out and said he was nodding. The prosecution said that. The judge just took their word for it like he was doing all case, and that came from Tisa Tells and Make It Make Sense. They said, oh, we saw him nodding.
Was fangirling because she admitted she used to watch Making the Band. But that part in itself, it's important to note when you have a high profile case with someone like Diddy, It's not unnecessary for people to know of him. They will still select jurors, but they are not supposed to be biased. The judge in Diddy's case did ask these jurors that got selected, are you sure you're not going to be biased? Because they can't have somebody that's biased on the jury. And if any of them said, yes, we do feel like we're going to be biased, then they were removed from being put on this jury. I also hated the way that Juror 160 was smiling and smirking through different parts of her interview, especially when they talked about the violence. Me and most people, that did not come off sincere because they asked her, do you think Diddy's a violent person? And she said sometimes he was in the CNN.
So whenever, see, here's the thing with people like this broad. Here's the thing. Whenever it's something that's for Diddy, she can't stand. But whenever they're joking and talking about baby oil and making jokes about him, she finds nothing wrong with that. But now she's upset because this juror did not buy Capricorn Clark's BS story. He did not buy Cassie and did not buy Jane Doe's story. She didn't buy it. A lot of New Yorkers didn't buy it.
CNN video. Well, no duh. And all of this, including what Kalina Harper talked about in the Netflix documentary, really made me think about Diddy's 1999 case. Kalina Harper was talking about the fact that Diddy reached out to her after Dawn Richard filed her lawsuit. And we also saw the videos that Diddy was having somebody record of him actually doing this, which is insane in my opinion. Diddy wanted Kalina Harper to put out a public statement basically refuting anything that Dawn Richard said in her lawsuit, which Kalina Harper did end up doing. And the reason why I was so shocked that Diddy was actually recording himself call Kalina Harper is because prosecutors allege Diddy reaching out to Kalina Harper continued when he went to jail a couple of days after he recorded those videos. This is where the prosecution alleged that Diddy was tampering with witnesses, and this is the reason why Diddy kept getting denied bail, because the judges were saying there was clear evidence that he was reaching out to witnesses.
But they did not find him tampering with witnesses, or else they would have found him guilty of that. They would have found him guilty of obstruction. But he was not found guilty of obstruction. He was not found guilty of obstruction. I think Diddy is a menace, but I feel like a lot of these people in the dock are guilty as well. And I agree. Listen, nobody is going to sit up here and say that Diddy was innocent. However, if you see that something isn't right, or you see that a person is not doing right, you leave. They had ample opportunities to leave, but the thing is, they did not want to leave. It had nothing to do with Diddy making them stay. That is BS. Diddy did not make any of them stay. He never told any of them, if you walk out, I'm going to unalive you. He did not make them stay. So the same way how when this one is saying, oh, he promised to release a tape, I would have said, and I'm gonna put you on blast for all the time that you beat me. I'm gonna go plot. I'll show my doctor records. I'll show photos. You try me. You try me. So you can go ahead and put out a sex tape of me if you want. Wait till you see what I'm gonna put out on you. So go right ahead and do it. I bet you wouldn't have did it. I bet you wouldn't have did it. No, they didn't want to say that because they didn't want to leave. They didn't want to leave they didn't want to leave that allowance on the table. They didn't want to start having to eat regular start eating at Applebee's instead of Noble. They want to have to start having to go to Metro PCS instead of having AT&T and a cell phone bill they never have to pay for. They couldn't see themselves going back to a regular life. And they didn't tell because if they would have told and Diddy would have gotten in trouble, that would have ended their gravy train. That's why they didn't tell. That's why they didn't leave. Because all that stuff that Cassie said about, oh, I was scared to leave and this, that, and other. Well, how come you wasn't scared to leave in 2019? How come you wasn't scared to leave in 2019? You got up and told Diddy it was over because of the whole thing with Gina. And when you told Diddy it was over, what happened? Nothing. Exactly. He just let you walk out with the trainer. If he was ever going to do something to you, it was when you snaked him for the trainer that he hired. Hell, I think I would have did something to you behind that. You went off and left him for the trainer that he hired, and he didn't do nothing to you then. So that just goes to show he wasn't going to do anything to you. You go to your mother's. He wasn't going to go to your mother's and drag you out of your mother's house. Right? All the stuff. Oh, he thought he was going to do something. This dude is a big time celebrity. You think that Diddy, you see all he went through to hide the tape of Cassie. You think Diddy would have went and put himself out there and got in trouble publicly over Kid Cudi? He'd have been all in the news. He'd have been exposed. You think he's really going to risk his whole entire life for Kid Cudi? And Cassie? When he got children, he got businesses to live for. You think he's gonna throw it away on you think he's gonna throw it away on Kid Cudi? Come on, bro.
I said it reminded me automatically of Diddy's 1999 case, because in the 1999 nightclub incident when Diddy was with J-Lo and Shine would go to jail, the prosecutors were alleging that Diddy was tampering with witnesses. Prosecutors said that Diddy or members of his entourage exchanged phone calls with witnesses who later testified that Diddy did not have a weapon during a 1999 nightclub incident. The security
So then what? Then if that's the case, why did they get him for obstruction of justice? Why didn't they get him for obstruction of justice, Velma? They obviously must not have felt as though he did that. That was just prosecution saying that, just trying to get a conviction. But if they felt as though he was tampering with witnesses, why didn't they lock him up for obstruction, Velma? They didn't.
Security guard that was at the club said on the stand that she never spoke to Diddy after the incident, but phone records showed a 3-minute call from her home to Combs' cell phone on January 8th, 2000. Myers testified that she fell on top of Combs after the incident, that she did not feel a weapon. The prosecution said this contradicted what she told police immediately following the incident. The prosecution's evidence during this trial also showed records of 5 calls in January to the hip-hop star from a cell phone owned by an auto technician, who also testified that he did not know Combs, while his phone received 1 call from Combs. Records also showed 22 December calls from witness Glenn Beck's home to one of Combs' bodyguards, Paul Offord. This evidence back in 1999 was introduced to support the prosecutor's accusation that the defense had tampered with witnesses. And as you know, one of the victims...
This old weird-ass bitch is reporting something that she was probably 2 or 3 years old when it happened. She was probably maybe 7 or 8. Maybe 7 or 8 years old. Now, I don't even think she's in her 40s. She reported something that happened probably she was 2 years old.
In the 1999 nightclub incident, Natanya Rubin, who is the sweetest woman ever, actually said since the beginning of this and even during trial that Diddy
She's the sweetest woman ever because she's blaming Diddy. And you hate Diddy, so of course you're going to say she's the sweetest woman ever. This woman hangs out with Jaguar Wright.
The one that shot off the weapon that ended up hitting her in the face. We all know that Diddy did get acquitted during this trial, and then Shine ended up spending 10 years in jail. But Natanya Rubin didn't stop there. He actually filed a civil lawsuit against Diddy, which he quietly settled a couple years later. But y'all, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
That's her Cleo. She just, if it's not for Diddy, this broad would be irrelevant. She would be irrelevant. She would be irrelevant. That's why I can't stand this chick. She would be irrelevant if it was not for Diddy. Now, 50 Cent, let me find out what's going on with Misa. He got how you got the new Diddy footage. So he's saying that Puffy sent him. Now, we're going to tap in with Never Gave Up. And here's go 50 Cent capping some more. Saying that Diddy sent him flowers.
He only deal with young videographers because he want to rob them, and he know that they want the opportunity to follow Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. They want that opportunity.
All right, so
now
the Diddy document.
Now here's another clown, Roger Bonds, who just talking more and more and more, so-called swear that he was Diddy's right-hand man. So I am sure that Roger Bonds saw a lot of stuff that he let go. As a matter of fact, during the trial, he got mentioned a couple of times where he was separating Cassie and taking Cassie into another room and stuff like that, but nobody ever reported Diddy. And I am sure that these dudes like Roger Bonds and these other security guys was probably out getting all of the accolades from being a Diddy bodyguard. So that's why they weren't saying anything. But he's going to speak, and here's 50 Cent revealing how he got the Diddy footage. All right? So let's tap in with that for right now.
Documentary is still heating up the streets, and one big question is, how did 50 Cent and the rest of the team who put this documentary together, how did they get this secret footage of Diddy? And 50 Cent said Diddy sent him some flowers. Y'all better lock in, like the video, and subscribe. Let's get it. Now, 50 Cent posted this to his Instagram, and I thought it would be something cool to share because it might answer some questions.
Getting to this, yo, Bonds. Yo, man, how 50 get, blah, blah, blah. Yo, Puff, take this self doing that. Let me explain something to y'all. All right? Whether it's NDAs, whether it's whatever. When these young boys come in, first of all, he only deal with young videographers because he want to rob them, and he know that They want the opportunity to follow Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. They want that opportunity. So they get him at a low price anyway. But when you stay out so many hours a day, Puff wants a videographer with him 24 hours a day on call. Whether we on a yacht, whether we on a ship, wherever we at, he wants to videotape that, right? So now they come to agreement. They come to whatever the pay is going to be. But then it be so many hours on that invoice that he don't want to pay. He gets in touch with the office. He gets in touch with the chief of staff. Yo, what is this I'm paying? What is this I'm paying? You know what you paying. You was outside all of these hours. It's 160 something hours in a week. You was outside 140. That's the invoice he put in. So now,
So Roger Bonds, right? Roger Bonds, what he's speaking on. Now, this, like I said, I'm going to be objective and I'm going to keep it down the middle, right? So Roger Bonds is talking about how this footage may have been acquired by 50 Cent. Now, 50 Cent is not revealing how he got it, but everybody is speculating. Only thing he'll say is he got it legally. Him and Netflix acquired it legally. The rumor is that the videographer who was filming Diddy had a videographer filming him for a documentary that he wanted to do, is stating that Diddy never paid him. This is what people are saying. Diddy never paid him, and he felt as though for all the work he did, he got to get paid somehow, so I'll just go out and sell this footage to whoever, and it was obviously to 50 Cent for his documentary. He probably heard that 50 was doing a documentary, and he probably contacted him and said, I got some footage that you could probably use for your doc. And they probably paid him for the footage. Now, I know this to be true because during our movie, when we was making a film, I forgot what film it was, we was working with a guy who was working with Diddy. And he was complaining about working long hours and not getting paid. He said at the time, Diddy owed him $8,000. And he was like, I'm going to tell you right now, if he don't pay me, I'm going to stop working and this, that, and the other. It was this little white kid, young, and he was complaining that Diddy owed him $8,000. So I believe Roger Bonds when it comes to this.
Being if you got a contract and he don't stand to that contract, guess what happens? He could do whatever he want to do with that footage. So now that footage goes to the highest bidder. And 50 had to be the highest bidder to get the, this is business. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't in love with you. Everybody ain't dedicated. Everybody ain't loyal to the point of stupidity.
You were.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Here's my thing about that. But it sounds like you were in love to the point of stupidity. You were dedicated to the point of stupidity because you didn't say anything. All those years, you never said anything. So if everybody's not loyal to the point of stupidity, why didn't you say something, sir? You had an opportunity. Why didn't you say something? Oh, of course not. Didn't want to have to give up that life of luxury.
Now, also, I think this helps what I'm about to say, because look at the first comment in 50 Cent's comment section. Diddy was only rich because he never paid
That's
people.
stupid.
And so you think
That's
about all
dumb.
of the times people will talk about contracts that they feel.
That's dumb. That's a stupid take. And for never gave up to go along with that. So he's only got $1 billion because he never paid nobody. So all those people just stayed working for him and he never paid them a dime. That's not what people said during the trial. They were saying they were making 6 figures, 7 figures. Once again, it's just something to slight Diddy. Oh, he's only rich because he never paid anybody. Stupid take.
Feel like Diddy screwed them over in back in the day. And look, I'll still say, unfortunately, Black people need to educate themselves when they sign contracts in the entertainment industry. But yeah, it was a lot of people who are unhappy with Diddy when it came to contract negotiations. And you can see the same thing happening with a cameraman who now has all of this footage and now he's willing to sell it to the highest bidder. And you think about the documentary, which I know a lot of y'all say isn't based in fact, but at the end of the day, I still think it painted a picture about Diddy that a lot of people would agree with. And one of the narratives I see going around from the documentary was they're saying that Diddy basically would like to have people in a constant position of coming to him with their hands out. I need money. I need this. I need that. Even if it was money that he owed them, because they're saying that was his way of manipulating them. And you can kind of see that constantly being brought up when it comes to all of these people who have an issue with Diddy.
These are grown ass people. At what point are they held accountable? At what point are they held accountable? These are adults. So at what point are you no longer supposed to allow Diddy to trick you as an adult? At what point? So they just have no accountability because Diddy manipulated them. Or maybe some of them allowed Diddy to manipulate them because of the type of money he had. And because they wanted to experience a little bit of that lifestyle. What point, again, do they have to take accountability? Everything is Diddy's fault, Diddy's fault, Diddy's fault. Like there was nobody else involved.
It always comes back to, he was working for them. He was giving them an opportunity. He owed them money. That was the thing with that producer who helped him on the last album. I forget his name, but he was saying, hey, Diddy owed me a whole bunch of money. And then it became, hey, I saw all of this other stuff while I was working with Diddy.
Well, the best holiday ever.
Yeah, and this is the reason why I can't stand 50 Cent. He's trying to make Diddy broke. Like, that's why they hired 50 Cent. Because they know that 50 Cent loves to tear down his own kind. He's been doing it ever since he came in. He's the sole reason why New York hip hop is pretty much dead. They hired him, put him out in the forefront. He beefed with every single New York rapper that was on the scene. And people just allowed him to do it.
So this is another reason why he should pay me. And even going to people like Aubrey, who was in a documentary, and other people who work with Diddy, it always goes back to he was in the power position. where he could, either give people money or give them opportunities, and they feel like that's how he manipulated people.
That's not manipulation. That's not manipulation. Exactly. Read your contract. Read your contract. None of these record labels are presenting anyone with a contract that is good for them. None of them. Their contract is going to be better for them than you. So Diddy ain't the first or the last somebody to rip somebody off of their contract. Read your contract.
That's how he controlled people and got them to do his bidding or whatever, weird stuff he was trying to get off. Now, also, they did say that they're still trying to protect the person who they got this footage from.
Why?
But if you ask me, Diddy knows who shot that footage, right? Like the public might not know, but he knows who was in that room with him recording that day. And, hopefully that person can be protected, and hopefully, nobody from around Diddy tries to go after them. I see some people saying that 50 Cent is getting threats. 50 said Diddy sent him some flowers on some sus type. Come
on, stop it. Stop it. He just wants to continue to go on this gay stuff. Diddy tried to put a cease and desist and stop this documentary. Diddy is not sending 50 Cent no flowers. I mean, stop it. And y'all going along with it. Like, oh, he said on some stuff. Why would Diddy, first of all, send anything to 50 Cent from prison? Why would he be making threats from prison? If he was making threats, as much as 50 Cent wants to keep Diddy in jail, he would be reporting it to the jail. He would be reporting it to the jail. Not coming on the internet. He didn't report it to the jail because he know he's trolling. Diddy didn't send him shit. Or else that would have been another way for 50 Cent to say, oh, I could get him more time. Because he's making threats on my life from inside prison.
Hey, no Diddy, man. No Diddy.
So 50 said, what kind of Diddy-ish is this? Diddy sent me flowers at Club 11. Copy. LOL.
Cap.
What all the foreplay? Get busy. Cap. You know I'm stupid.
Hey, no Diddy, man. No Diddy.
He also said, a warning. I'm 90s grimy. You don't warn me. LOL. And once again, of course, the first comment in 50 Cent's comment section is crazy. Sophie said he probably charged them to Biggie's account, because that's a reference from the documentary where they basically said Diddy made Biggie pay for his own funeral.
And since then, they've come out and debunked that. Biggie's people have come out and debunked that. So I don't know whether this dude is doing his research or whether he don't want people to know the truth, but you're doing half research to try to paint the narrative that everything 50 Cent is putting out there is true. Right? You're trying to paint the narrative that everything that 50's putting out there is true. When Biggie's people have already came back and said, first of all, why are you mentioning Biggie? Let him rest in peace. Why are you even mentioning him in this documentary? He has nothing to do with what happened to Diddy in 2024. And they also said that that is not true about Diddy making Biggie pay for his own funeral. They said that is totally false.
Which was another crazy thing that came out in the doc. But What do y'all think about this? Why is Diddy sending 50 Cent flowers?
Stop.
Now I'm trying to remember, was that like a mafia thing back in the day where they would send somebody flowers they didn't like, and it was like to tell you, yeah, your days is numbered. When we catch up to you, you know, you're gonna put these flowers at your funeral. I don't know if that's what Diddy was trying to do, but hey, Diddy, man, you should be focused on those ramen noodles. You should be focused on those you know, those Twinkie pastries. You know, they take like
everybody
Twinkie.
always talk tough when somebody locked up. Always talking tough when somebody locked up. But the moment Diddy come out, everybody gonna be trying to backtrack.
And honey buns, and they mash them up and put them together and they make a cake or something like that. That's what you should be focused on. You should be focused on, like, you know, the jail.
Right, so hold on. Another ad.
Dust is always in the air, and
Oh
cleaning
my
it
God.
is the worst. So get a Swiffer duster. It captures dust in
And
one
no, I'm
swipe
not paying for
without lifting a
YouTube.
thing.
Hell
Trap
no.
and lock 3 times more
They
dust.
got enough
Oh
money.
yeah,
They keep
you'll
enough
love
of my
Swiffer
money.
or your money back.
Jail cell hibachi, the jail cell fried rice, fried chicken. You know, they heat up the metal bed in the jail cell, and then they start cooking on the metal bed like it's a skillet. That's what Diddy should be focused on. He should be focused on like all of that food with the metal in it that he trying to eat. Don't forget, you know, they said Diddy is in there drinking jail-made alcohol, where I don't know if they take urine or
Another thing that got debunked that he refuses to mention. So he just wants to be salacious and not mention anything that got debunked. Right? So we're going to make sure we call him out on that. So you just want to be salacious and not mention that everything you just mentioned was already debunked. They debunked the alcohol in jail. Biggie's team has already debunked that he had to pay for his own funeral. And no way did Diddy send 50 Cent flowers. All cap. But of course, you just want to be salacious. Okay. Ain't sent nobody no damn flowers. He full of it. There was no way that, again, why would he do that? When all 50 got to do is go right to the authorities and say, look, he's threatening my life. Right? So, but a lot of people, you know, believe that 50 is just upset. Right? A lot of people believe that 50 is just upset. Hold on. And I'm one of those people. What did academics say? Let me take a look at what academics said. All right, so Choke No Joke. And another thing, we're going to get into the whole Diddy killed Tupac thing as well. We're going to get into that. So Choke No Joke, shout out to him, and I'm using this under fair use. He's one of the people that believe that 50 is just a little tight because 50 Cent
respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform.
What they consider a pre-existing beef, right, for 20 years, right, is me being uncomfortable with him suggesting that he takes me shopping.
Which is cap.
I looked at it like he was, like, it was like.
Which is cap.
Right?
Which is cap.
And then 50, the same nigga that took May shopping. Right?
Thank you. There it is, right out the gate. This is what the whole thing about the shopping thing was. All right? But because 50 can come and because he knows everybody hates Diddy, everybody wants to clown Diddy, and he's been doing this for this is the thing that happened with the Mace, right? This is the thing that happened with Diddy as far as the Mace thing. Diddy never told 50 Cent, why don't I take you shopping? Diddy was clowning 50 Cent about him taking Mace shopping. It said, you want me to take you shopping like you took Mace shopping? Come on, I'll take you shopping. 50 tried to make it seem as though Diddy was trying to push up on him by saying, oh, can I take you shopping? No, Diddy was clowning 50 about 50 taking Mace shopping in the video. And you're going to tell me if let's just say Diddy did say that. So that made you so mad. That made you so mad that's why you're doing this? Cat. We know what made you mad. We know what made you mad. That you was sitting out there with your feet out with Daphne Joy trying to act like she was Jane Kennedy or somebody. You thought you had one. And you treated your black baby mama like crap. You treat your black son like crap, but you boosted up the non-black woman and the non-black son. Only to find out that Diddy was using her as a urinal. Only to find out that Diddy was smutting her out. And then when you tried to get her to stop talking to Diddy, she told you kick rocks. It ain't got nothing to do with none of that other stuff he talking about. Because if it did, why is there so many pictures of you and Diddy? Hugged up, arm around each other. You even said on the interview, me and Puff used to be cool. Puff used to talk. We used to talk. You didn't mention nothing about that before. We used to talk. Matter of fact, you talk about Cassie. Never back then did you ever mention anything about him trying to take you shopping. This just popped up out of nowhere once Daphne Joy told you to kick rocks, and she's not going to stop seeing Diddy. All right, here we go.
To do with his baby mother, and it's not personal. Just because he thought he tried to take him shopping. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing else. Just that he tried to take him shopping. He took that as, maybe it could be more. Nigga, please.
Thank you.
Yeah. So him SULT and his baby mother out ain't got nothing to do with this. That don't play no part in this at all. That he was banging his baby mother, that ain't got no part in this at all. This is all strictly about shopping, right? And then 50, the same nigga that took May shopping, right? If you think that him banging his baby mother don't play a role in any of his animosity towards Diddy, you niggas is stupid. You niggas are bugging. If you think that him banging his baby mother out ain't got nothing to do with this, y'all are full of it. Y'all full of it. Right? Now, as I'm told, and I don't know because I wasn't there, but how I'm hearing it from Diddy through his peoples is that the backstory in that conversation was them niggas was cool at that time. The nigga 50 allegedly was asking Diddy, yo, how you getting in the room with these people and woo, getting on, these different deals and things like that. And he told 50, first of all, nigga, you can't be dressing like that. You know what I'm saying? You still in the urban gear. You wearing hoodies and stuff. You can't be going to the meetings and stuff like this, nigga. You gotta dress it up, playboy. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'll take you, show you what you need to get. I'll take you shopping. That's how Diddy is saying the backstory is between the whole shop.
And knowing Diddy, that sounds way more believable than him trying to make a pass at him. You know, Diddy is always because he was doing that with Jay-Z. He did that with Jay-Z. So yes, I believe that one even more than he was clowning him about Mace. Because remember, Jay-Z was he was like, yeah, you gotta get the, he was like, yo, I like that pink. Yo, you gotta get the mauve. It's mauve. It's not pink. It's mauve. You gotta get that mauve. So I can see him definitely saying that. I could definitely see him saying, like, you got to be up to par. Like, if you're going to be hanging out and getting in the rooms with, that I'm getting in, Playboy, you got to dress the part. I'll take you shopping and show you what you need to get. I could definitely see him saying that. But not in a way of trying to get at 50 Cent. I will repeat it. For everybody that wants to ride the whole, Diddy's sweet, Diddy's gay thing. Diddy was paying escorts, and not to be on no funny shit. All these dudes was handsome dudes, in shape, professional escorts, right? Diddy was paying them. He never tried anything with any of the escorts, according to all 12 escorts. So he didn't try anything with escorts he was paying for. But he's going to try something with guys he's not paying. Come on, man. Stop it. Stop it.
shopping thing. I don't know. I wasn't there. I ain't trying to defend Diddy, right? But that's how they kicking it. Like, and they said he did the same thing for Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying?
See?
He the one that showed Jay-Z how to switch it up and what you call it. Because as we know, Diddy been dressing like that on, you know, on the high-end tip, wearing the suits and all that other stuff. Right? Remember that video where Jay-Z the Diddy blog where the nigga showing Jay-Z the color mauve. And Diddy got the mauve suit on. And Jay come out, oh nigga, you put that on. You put that on. Yo, what's that? Diddy like, yo, this is mauve. You know what I'm saying? And then you see the nigga Jay walking he had some place he coming out somewhere and he done got the mauve suit on after Diddy showed him what it was. And then the dude say to Jay, ooh, Jay, you rocking that pink suit. Nigga Jay, yo, it's mauve. You know what I mean? It's mauve. Nigga, you learned that from Diddy. Like,
that's a fact.
I can find that real quick.
That's a fact.
Hold on.
Did I just say that, y'all? Did I just say that? See, that's what I'm saying. I know what I'm talking about. This video just came out. I ain't seen this video, but this is exactly what I just said. I just said that. And he mentioned the same exact thing. See, niggas be that be in them circles, and you can really tell who was really in the industry. You can tell, and I know somebody said, well, he be lying too. I think everybody on that lied to a certain extent.
Right here. I found it.
I think he's going to show when Diddy first showed him the suit. I'm going to assume. Y'all make sure to hit the like button. I'm bringing y'all back and making sure y'all are aware of all the things going on outside of this whole documentary. The backstories, all that. Y'all hit the like button, please. Diddy thought he was a shit when it came to anything, and that's why 50 is mad and jealous. Exactly. 50's always been jealous of Diddy and of Jay-Z, but he's been more jealous of Diddy because Diddy is like 50 wants to be more like Diddy than Jay. Because 50 wanted to be out in the forefront. Remember, he had the nice body, he had the muscles. So that's the reason why 50's got into acting. 50 wanted to be out in the forefront.
It's crazy how all these niggas done turned on Diddy. When you go back and you look and you see all these dudes. Oh, here it go. This is it. This is it. This is it. Right here. This is it right here. Check it out. And I'll get right back to that Good Morning America interview in a second. Right? This is it right here. This nigga teach Jay-Z about the mauve or whatever. And then Jay later on, he rocking the mauve. The mauve suit. Watch.
Feeling good? Oh, you put that thing on the. You see how
Now, let me stop this here. If y'all remember, right? I'm glad he brought this up. If y'all remember, a lot of content creators and conspiracy theorists, when they were trying to attach Jay-Z to Diddy, they was using this very clip. Now, this comes from a Grammy party, I believe, that took place on a Saturday at Diddy's house, outside. Inside, his twins, who were small at the time, was entertaining some of their friends. It's Diddy's kids in there. If you look across YouTube, when they were trying to attach Jay, they were saying, oh, Jay-Z was in there with a bunch of little girls. Y'all remember that? Put a one in the chat if you remember. I'm glad he brought this clip up because I couldn't find this clip because I wanted to see the entire thing. But when they were trying this whole thing with the trial and everything, they kept showing this clip talking about, oh yeah, there was a whole bunch of little girls in there, and Jay-Z came out talking about, oh, you put that thing on them, woo! And they tried to attach it and clip it to make it seem like Jay-Z was talking about the little girls in the room. And those are Diddy's twins and their friends. You see how dirty and evil people are? This is just simply right before the Grammy party or whatever he was having, some sort of brunch he was having outside his house, on the outside, and the girls were on the inside. Wow. I'm glad he brought this up because I couldn't find this footage nowhere. Glad he brought it up.
The mauve suit. Watch.
Feeling good? Oh, you put that thing on the. Woo! You see how we do it here on Saturday. This is where this about to be. I mean, look at my mantras real quick. All right. Read that one, nigga. You feel like it's more. Yeah, more. Let's go celebrate this. Yeah, more. More. Yeah, more. It's more. More. Let's call it. It's more. More. Yeah. Let's call it. It's more. More. Yeah. More. Let's call it. It's more. More. Yeah. More.
Jay trying to say it.
Let's call it. It's more. More. Yeah. More. Let's go.
And he
Schooling
said,
that
let's go
nigga.
celebrate.
That nigga Jay, yo, what's it called? Mauve, nigga, mauve, nigga. You can't even pronounce it. Mauve, nigga. And then Jay going, wait, let me see.
Celebrate this.
These niggas is phony, my nigga. It's mauve, nigga. What you call it? Mauve.
So this is the part
Now watch this.
where Jay is wearing the mauve now that he got from Diddy. Come on. Choke be taking a long time sometimes. Gee whiz. Get to it, brother. That's my man, but get to it. Hold on.
still under fair use here.
Peace. I like that pink, man. Mom. Mom. Okay. Okay, Mom. All right. Peace. I like that pink, man. Mom. Mom. Okay. Okay, Mom. All right. Absolutely. Thank you. Peace. I like that pink, man. Mom. Mom. Okay. Okay, Mom. All right.
You see how Diddy be schooling these niggas? He be dressing them niggas. Oh, nigga, you put that thing on. Oh. It's Marv. Marv? Marvin? No, nigga, Marv. Marky? Marv. Now, Jay, he go get it. Nigga say, yo, Jay, I like that pink. Yo, it's Marv. Nigga, you just learned that, nigga. You just learned it, nigga. Nigga put you up on it, and now you sit here acting like you knew what it was, nigga. Nigga just schooled you on it. F out of here. Phony ass niggas. Nigga that took Jay shopping too, allegedly.
So that's the whole thing about the shopping thing. I'm sorry. I don't believe anything that 50 Cent is saying. Here's some of the jurors.
But clear of racketeering and sex trafficking charges, both sharing their thoughts on the relationship between Combs and singer Cassie. Juror 75 describing them as two people in love, and Juror 160 saying in part, domestic violence wasn't one of the charges. Cassie, is she a victim in all this?
I believe Cassie's a victim in all this because she came in as such, she's like 18, like 19.
Lies.
That's another lie. That's another lie.
See? Thank you,
Cassie
Joe.
wasn't.
He's right up on it. Lies. She was not 18. Lies. See, this is stuff I'm talking. And y'all be sitting here talking about 50 Cent, 50 Cent, then 50 Cent that. 50 Cent be straight lying. She was not 18. She was not 18, bro. You're lying. Oh, yeah, I think she's a victim because she was 18 when she came in. I think she's a victim because she was young. She was so young. She's 18 when she came in. Stop lying, Curtis.
Wasn't dealing with Diddy at no goddamn 18, y'all. Now, if you watch the trial and you know the story, they didn't start dating until she was 21. They did not start dating until she was 21. This nigga got right up here and said she was 18, my nigga.
Yep.
She was not 18, bro. She was not 18. She was 21. Like, so he feel like she was, yo, I'm telling you, 50 better not get caught up in no scandal because nobody's going to have no pity for him.
Nope.
Or a lot of people aren't. They going to remember this, how he was doing Diddy, and like, I'm telling you, watch. And all this is because he tried to take him shopping. Ain't got nothing to do with his baby mama. Just because he tried to take him shopping. And now Cassie was 18, bro. That's a lie, bro. That is a straight up lie, bro. That is a straight up lie.
Yep.
Cassie was not goddamn 18 when she met Diddy, my nigga. She was still with Ryan Leslie. Matter of fact, how old is Ryan Leslie right now?
He's older than her, too. So that is stuff from Cho. All this stuff is absolutely crazy. This documentary that they brought into the fold. Now, Gene Deal, right? Gene Deal is now speaking out. Gene Deal is now speaking out, and he's upset. He's upset at 50 Cent because Gene Deal is saying 50 Cent owes him half the money. So let's get into that. As we all know, Gene Deal is
50 didn't do that, y'all. He put his name on that shit, but he didn't do it. They sit up here and anybody 50, forget it. I want half 50. 50. I want half. Half 50. Because all those people did was watch what Gene Deal was saying and took it and put a visual to it. I want half. Them motherfuckers is slime buckets. Yo, Fifth, they use your name to get some play on this documentary. But they effed it up because that shit was straight garbage. It wasn't nothing that we hadn't already known. It wasn't nothing that we had spoken other than them putting those two jurors in there and we got their point of view. It wasn't shit in that documentary that we didn't know already. Thanks to
now that I agree with. But 50's not giving you nothing. 50's not giving you nothing. And Gene Deal has been a guy who, unfortunately for him, was a little bit before his time. He was really out there before people knew that they could monetize old hip-hop stories. And there was so many people that was like, no, I'm keeping it sacred. I'm not going to be out there and snitch. Because there's so many guys, right? There's so many guys out there. 50 Cent, Netflix record, Diddy X Body or Gene Deal started fake Biggie Rolling Stone mag. So they said that the Rolling Stone magazine, that is another narrative that was squashed. Remember, Gene Deal said that, Puffy, after Biggie died, they wanted to put Biggie on the cover of Rolling Stone, but instead Puffy took it and Puffy went. That was another way of him trying to make Diddy look bad. So let's go to that. So they said Gene Deal started this story. We're also going to tap in with Misa afterwards. Let you know what Misa had to say. Ridiculous.
At Vistaprint, we print signs so people can see your brand up close. But we also print signs so that people can see your business here, see it here, and see it here, so you stand.
We put the baby oil on. She took the bottle and said, no, that's not enough.
One, Diddy freak-offs allegedly had connection to both Tupac and Biggie. It's claimed Diddy wouldn't allow Tupac's music to be played during them. And this, according to an...
And he also wanted to mention, too, that, you know, there was this Rolling Stone cover conversation. In the documentary, they allege that Diddy... So Biggie was supposed to have this like Rolling Stone cover, and Diddy stepped in the way of that and said, no, I got an album coming out. I want to, you know, get on this cover. That was like a big point of the documentary. He says that never been brought to them.
Discretion TV, the best there is, the best there was, the best they're going to be. 50 Cent. Bro, you forgot Puffy Bodyguard is the one that put out that false rumor that Diddy stole the Rolling Stone Man cover from Biggie.
Yep.
Drop comments below. Yeah, that was this big mouth bodyguard, puffy old bodyguard that interfered with the Biggie and Pac case. Yeah, y'all gotta do a part 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, 50, get them cameras back out. Y'all gotta run the sequel by popular demand. You understand me? Puffy Bodyguard on his failed cooking show. You see he quiet over there. And his ex-boyfriend Choke, they ain't speaking on this. Yeah, that's what I mean. New York, these fake journalists in New York, they know the truth. They know Puffy Bodyguard was the one that put out that false rumor. Drop comments below. Get the likes up for me. Discretion TV.
Alrighty, y'all. So yesterday I was able to speak to Wayne Burrow, who worked with Miss Violetta Wallace, who is the mother of Biggie Smalls and managing her son's estate. Now he reached out to me, or I reached out to him, and then he was like, okay, I'm willing to get on the phone with you because he says that a lot of people have been blowing them up following this documentary. And he wanted to speak out, and he made it clear that this is on behalf of Miss Violetta Wallace. He says there are a few allegations that he wanted to address from the doc. So number one, there's this allegation from the documentary that Diddy used Biggie's record label deal, or his own money, Biggie's own money, to pay for Biggie's funeral. So Wayne tells me that is completely not true, that he himself officiated the funeral and planned it along with Kirk Burrows, who is in the documentary, Bad Boy staff, and that Bad Boy paid for everything. At no point was there any indication that any royalty statement that this would be coming from Biggie's account. So the family never paid for anything in regards to the funeral. He said Bad Boy and Diddy covered everything from the cars to the police, to the funeral itself. And they wanted to make that clear. And he also says that it's disrespectful that anybody would even imply that, you know, Miss Wallace, Biggie's mom, or any of his close friends would even be that naive to allow something like that to happen and not catch it as they're watching the royalty statements and just different things that are coming in. He also talk to me a bit about the contract conversation. So there is a claim in the doc, and this has been a claim that's been circulating for some time, that right before Biggie's passing, there was an issue with contract negotiations between Diddy and Biggie Smalls. He says that is completely not true as well. He says that life after death was already done, so there was no contract negotiations happening. He says based on the sales and of the records and how everything was moving, Biggie had already recouped. So at that point, there was nothing to be talked about. But they did go back into a negotiation because they put out more music following the death of Biggie Smalls. And the conversation they had then was just about how that would happen and, you know, how splits would be. But that whole conversation around the contract and there being an issue with that as well, there's nothing to talk about. He says the contract was the contract and people just need to leave it at that.
And Barrow is Biggie's friend. He also managed Biggie at one point. He owned a remember.
Okay, so that is something else that nobody else wants to report on. They just, he did this, he did this to Big. Then now you're talking about him trying to unalive Tupac, and he's going to be getting the blame. I mean, it's like same old stuff, man. You know, same old stuff when it comes to 50 Cent. Now, Misa, right? after Diddy died. So now Misa Hilton, right? Misa Hilton is Puffy's first baby mother, Justin's mother, right? Justin's mom. I'm trying to find the one with Gene Deal. So here's Misa Hilton. Hold on. This is what Misa said. She responded.
And it was on from there. So I went to war with this dude. And when you go to war with a nigga, he can't tell you what kind of ammunition to bring to the fight. What you gonna load up with. You're not gonna tell a nigga the ammunition that you gonna use, because you're gonna use any and everything that comes your way. Like, for instance, you had niggas on the internet that said that I said that Wolf was Justin's father.
You did. You did say that, Gene.
I never said that.
Yes, you did.
But did I deny it? Did I act like I didn't know? Yeah. You know why? Because anything that could hurt this nigga that I'm going to war with, if I don't have to speak on it and clarify, I ain't gonna say, nah. You know, I remember when Puff took me to the court and they did this child support and the paternity thing. I'm not gonna tell y'all what I know. Why would I do that?
So
yo, G, you supposed to do it. No, I don't. I'm going to war with this nigga.
Okay, so basically, he's sitting up here admitting that he lied. Gene Squeal is basically sitting up here admitting that he knew that Justin was not Wolf's kid, and he knows that Diddy had to go to court for Justin, and when it was proven that it was his son, he got put on child support. They're not going to put you on child support unless it's proved that that's your son. But he said because him and Diddy was in a war, he was never going to confirm what he knew about him. Wow.
I don't know. I don't supposed to tell y'all. I remember when a nigga did the blood test, he had to pay Misa so much kind of money, and he was mad at the motherfucker. Fuck that nigga. I'm not going to tell y'all that. But if you ask me personally, I'm going to tell you, I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't there when they was fucking. How would I know? Because I'm going to war with this nigga. Does it hurt Misa? Because
How are you going to war with him, sir? He hasn't said something to you in over 20 years. How are you going to war with him?
I used to work for Misa. No, me not saying nothing hurt Misa. But you just a casualty of war right now. I know what was saying hurt Justin because I did not clarify it to nobody because I didn't say it. Reggie Wright and somebody else said it and said I told them, which they was lying.
Oh, so now Reggie Wright lied.
And it was on from there. So I went to war with this dude. And when you go.
So Gene Deal basically saying that he knew all along that Diddy was Justin's father. But because he's going to war with him, he wasn't going to correct it for nobody. Everybody that's broke got a Diddy story. Oh my goodness gracious. My goodness gracious. So I have to end this, but I just want to touch on Charlie Kirk real quick. And this video, I must say, is a very good video on my half. Y'all need to go and show my video some love. I just put it out today. But this whole conspiracy thing now is starting not to be so funny. With Candace Owens, I think people are going to start saying, wait a minute, is Candace telling the truth? I think this is what people are going to start saying. Is Candace telling the truth here? Because you know she's been on this heavy thing about Charlie Kirk being unalived. Hold on. So let's check this out. Very interesting video. As a matter of fact, I'll save that for tomorrow. I'm going to save that for tomorrow. For him to be this bad as a person, people really like being in his presence. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me go to Megan Cuniff and Tory Lanez. So Tory Lanez filed for an appeal, right? Now, I guess because of everything that was happening with Megan Thee Stallion, I guess they probably figured, let's strike while the iron's hot, right? Where everybody thinks Megan's a liar, let's strike when the iron's hot. And he put in for an appeal or to rehear his appeal or what have you. Remember, he just got denied last week. And now, right after Megan's little, what people call a L, even though she won, they still call it an L. But let me go and tap into what Megan Cuniff reported today. Megan Cuniff, boy, she be throwing shade. Ever since he said googly eye B, Megan Cuniff has no love lost for this cat. Googly eye. So here's what Megan Cuniff reported. So here we go. Tory Lanez. Megan, what you doing, man? Alligator. All right. So she says, these requests are so obviously baseless that there really was no need to hear from the state attorney general's office. The judges can quickly say no and move on. Right? The court is referring to the request to publish to the California Supreme Court So we'll have another update when they say no to. See, it's so shady. That was fast. The Tory Lanez petitioned the California Court of Appeal on Monday to rehear the appeal of his 3 felony convictions and 10-year prison sentence for shooting Megan Thee Stallion. The court denied the petition today with a 1-sentence docket entry. The court's appellate petition for rehearing filed on December 1st, 2025 is denied. Boom, 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 boom. So, Tory Lanez people are livid, of course, but they're still, it's not over yet. Now they're going to take it to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court's going to do the same thing. They're going to deny it. Then what will he do after that? Will he just say, you know what, just screw it. I'll just do the rest of my 7 years. We'll see. But Tory Lanez has been denied 1 sentence. No thank yous. Thank you, but no thank you, sir. That's it. Cardi B, defamation of character. Rumor has it, according to Dumois, she's going to release it. I believe that, first of all, I believe a Bob sent it because of the way they said, oh, she said she's going to release it after Nicki's. She would never say that. Cardi B would never say that. Cardi B would never tell anybody, oh, yeah, I'm going to release it after Nicki Minaj released her album, I'm going to release mine. She would never say that. So I don't know about that part. That part might be cap. But I'm going to follow along. I believe that is cap. I know she did register invasion of privacy last year, and that's when I told her in her DM, and that's when I thought she was going to put it out, but she didn't. But she did trademark it last year, so I'm hoping she took my advice. And I know they're saying Nicki Minaj is in Miami working on music, so I don't know whether this is music from the PF2 soundtrack. Not PF2 soundtrack, the Ultra or whatever it's supposed to be. She hasn't named a name of the album yet. I don't believe Nicki has. No, she hasn't. It's just Nicki Minaj 6 or whatever. And I don't think it's going to be Pink Friday 3. But we'll see. All right. Let me get up out of here. Make sure you like, share the stream. If you want to send a donation, it is $Heaven Hollywood. All right. Y'all be cool.